welcome to another episode of Success Ladder. So today, I want us to talk about something very important, and that is the importance of character. And I'm not alone. I'm joined with a gentleman who's going to give us insights around character. So welcome to Success Ladder, and introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Paul. I'm delighted to be here. My name is Mark Cosmars Mwangi. I'm a passionate individual and also a lover of wisdom. I take most of my time reading philosophical books, and that is why I love wisdom. Career-wise, I am a software developer and also an ICT technician. Many know me as chess player, but currently I'm a coach who I coach aged young men and women between 18 to 25 years in playing chess. That is just me.
Wow. As you can hear, he's a man of many hats, and today he's going to share with us the wisdom that he has around character. And Mark, I want to start with the first question. How do you define character? And how is this important? And how is character important for you as a person, for a nation, for an organization? Character is everywhere. So how do you define character, and how is it important for the success of an individual, an organization, or even a nation?
First of all, Mr. Paul, character is a word that originated from the ancient Greek. Yeah. The ancient Greek were one of the people who are known nowadays for their good wisdom. So as time went by, the Latin adopted that term character, but in Greek it meant a mark. That means a distinguished ownership of something. Let's say if I have something and I've made it as a mark, it means it is my own. So in Greek they used that term character to mean ownership. Later on it was adopted by the Latin, and later on was adopted by the English in the 14th century. And sufficingly it said that character is a set of traits, ethics, and that define someone. But in a nutshell, I would say character is what defines someone. It is the core who you are when someone is not seeing you.
Wow. Amazing, Mark. Now, of course, at Success Ladder, we inspire the world. So when you talk about character, and you've said, is that thing that you do when somebody's not seeing you. So there are those things that do positive things, and there are those people who do negative things. Now, for us here, we'll focus on at Success Ladder, we want the positive to happen to the world because we inspire the world. So when you talk about character, and in building character, there is key component that I believe plays a very crucial role. That is integrity. So can you tell us, what role does integrity play in building your character as a person, in building the character of organization, or even in building the character of a nation? And why is integrity so important in building a positive character?
Integrity is a core value for strong character. And when I mean strong character, I mean positive characters. Just as you've said, there is negative and there is positive. So strong characters refers to the positive characters, while the weak characters are the negative characters. Integrity, I can define it as doing the right thing without compromise. Just doing the right thing. You know, as a man, as a human being, there is that inner self that we know this is the right thing to do. Even if you know you're doing something that is wrong, you will just know that this is wrong and this is right. So integrity is that will to do the right thing without any compromise. And it's very significant both to the personal level and to the professional level. To the personal level, it it guides you. It is like a guiding principle in terms of decision making, in terms of self-respect, and it gives you satisfactory wherever you've done something that you see it's right. In the professional level, of course, many employees, many employers value people who are trustworthy. Integrity is one of the values that will make you be trustworthy. Why? It's because you will be authentic. When you do the right thing, people will see an authentic man. People will see someone who is trustworthy, and so employers will wish someone like you. So integrity is a core thing both in the personal and the professional value.
Wow, wow. Talking of that, I do always believe that the success of an individual, the success of an organization, the success of a family, the success of a nation starts with leadership. So for me to achieve success as Paul Bryan, I have to be a leader. For an organization to achieve its success, then the employees of that organization must show leadership, and even as a nation. Then my question to you, Mark, is what role does your personal character play in leadership? Because if I want to grow, if I want to achieve success, I have to influence myself. If my organization have to achieve success, I have to influence others. So what role does personal character play in your leadership style? And your leadership style means how you influence yourself and how you influence others.
It's very true. Leaders influences others, and most importantly, influence those people who are close around them. Now, there is the good book. There is this story that I read from the good book, I mean the Bible, about Joseph. It is found in the book of Genesis, chapters 37. So, remember Joseph, when he was born, the second born of Israel, the second last born of Israel, went to captivity and went to Egypt. When he was in Egypt, there was a temptation for him about Potiphar's wife wanted to sleep with him. And see how genuine I am, that Joseph is taken as a refugee somewhere, and there he is faced with the temptation, and he has two options. One, to enjoy the pleasure, or two, to go to prison. But you can see he avoids that temptations and he allows himself to go to the prison. That means he avoided that temptation from Potiphar's wife. But as you can see, as much as he avoided that temptation, that was his character that defined him. It is not because he wanted to be in prison, no. In fact, he would have slept with Potiphar, but the consequences will later result. But you can see here, having a good character demonstrates that you have the ability to avoid certain temptations. And if you look at the life of Joseph, he was uplifted little by little until he became the second in command as Pharaoh, and sufficingly it said that is what the leadership that we are speaking. And there are many stories about that. So I think integrity plays a core value to sharpen your character. Character will define how you will persevere in temptations, how you will be resilient, how you will be honest, just to uplift yourself to become a good leader.
Yeah. You spoke about strong and weak characters. And from the Bible, a scripture that you've just, from that story of Joseph, I can see Joseph had a strong character. Now, strong character is the positive character, and then weak character is the negative character. Then what traits makes a person's strong character?
First of all, character is kind of a struggle. It is kind of a life struggle in ourselves. You can see, just for example, the life of Joseph. Not that he was born being strong in character. No, it is life that taught him that way. Just like I personally, when I was born till now, there are some life experience that I have gone through it, and that shapes my character. And so character is sharpened slowly by slowly through some little deeds, including number one is honesty. When you are honest with yourself, knowing who you are, that will build your character. We also have respect. That means I can respect people above me and my subordinates. That is important. We also have selfless work. The small deeds that you are doing to the community. We also have practicing integrity at all cost, not compromising with anyone. So it is built and nurtured slowly by doing some good things, which I call it ideal things. That there should be some things you can do and the things that you should not do. Yeah.
Yeah. And Mark, you told us that you play chess and your love of wisdom. Of course, I've known you for quite a while and I know you love wisdom. And when you talk about wisdom or even that chess, for you to have that wisdom, for example, you have to read so many books, so many novels to get that knowledge, because I know us who love wisdom, we don't like going by the winds. We want to dig deep and have a deep understanding.
Yes.
And in that journey, there are two traits that are very important: resilience and perseverance. So somebody might ask themselves then, how do I ensure that I integrate resilience and perseverance to be part of my character? Because if you want to have a strong character, we talked about integrity, but resilience and perseverance is also key. So then how can you integrate these two components into your character?
That's a good question, Mr. Paul. Perseverance is a way to adapt to the situation even when it's difficult. Yeah. Resilience is the ability to bounce back, yeah, even when there is difficulties. Yeah. And it's not bad that we as human beings face a lot of challenges within our ways, but there is a way in which we can come up with. On my personal journey, number one, of course, because there is challenges, you need to embrace those challenges. Yeah. The fact that you acknowledge these challenges, and instead of avoiding those challenges, you now take a step and face those challenges and provide solution to it. Number two is learn from your failures. Now, it is said that many leaders who are prominent today failed more than they succeeded. I mean, there was this guy for electricity, I don't know the name, but I heard the story, who failed 999 times, and at the 1000 attempt, he now figured a way in which current can pass from one device to another. And he said, I have not failed, but I have only found 999 attempts in which current cannot pass through a device. So learning from your failures is one of the things that it can help you to be resilient and perseverance. Another thing is setting your goals, and by this I mean setting long-term goals that are beneficial. Once you are clear that this is my goal, even if challenges come to your way, you will have to persevere no matter which. You will have to be resilient no matter which. And lastly, be honest with yourself. Honesty is very important. You've set a goal, just be honest with yourself. You need to do this and you have to accomplish it. That is a way to build up resilience and perseverance as a character.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mark. Then people of character, somebody like you, people of character, somebody like me, we do face challenges of maintaining our characters, especially in difficult situations. Sometimes you find yourself in a crossroad, in a very difficult situation. So when you're faced with these challenges of maintaining your character, maybe you have a life scenario, maybe you have something that somebody who has a character, yes, a very strong character, but when they are faced with those challenges that tempt their characters, they always fail. Can you maybe share with us what we can do, what that person who is trying to build their character, what those people have built their character, but they find themselves fail? What can they do to overcome these challenges?
First of all, failure is part of life, and you imagine life without failure. It will be very dramatic, it will be unpleasant, it will not be happy. Failure is part of life, and we should take failure as a way to grow ourselves. Now, when you face sometimes situations where you're failing every time, there is no problem in failing. In fact, many people failed. You are not the first one to fail. Personally, I've failed many times. Before I knew how to play chess, yeah. I was beaten. I remember one time being beaten by a class 3 child in playing chess, and there was a guy who came to me and told me, "Hey, Mark, ningekuwa wewe ningeacha." And I wouldn't stop from there. You know, of course you will fail, but you'll have to come back again. But what are some of the things that will help you to come back again? Number one is passion. When you describe your passion, when you make your mindset that you have a passion, for instance, in playing chess or in reading books or in kind of things that you are good at, when you have that passion, it will make you know that no matter how you fail, you will never fail. There is another thing, I call it honesty. Just being honest with yourself is very important. Just be honest. Yes, you failed. Just be honest with yourself. Don't be like you want to showcase you've not failed. No. Failure is part of the growth process. There's this story one day that has been spoken about, and I read it somewhere. It was written long time ago, but I will shorten it. A story by the name The Eagle and the Hen. Yeah. What happened, it was demonstrated by then Pixley Kaisaka Seme, one of the leaders of South Africa. There was once a naturalist, and there was a farmer. A farmer, of course, long time could only keep one animal, that is the chicken. Then one day the chicken that he was keeping strayed to the bush, and as they were coming back in the evening, there was a chick that was not like a chick but was resembling an eagle. And so what the farmer did was to feed that chick, that eagle, in the name of it's a chick, with chicken feed for too long. And a naturalist came by, passing by, and saw it, and told the farmer, "This is not a chick, this is an eagle." And the farmer said, "Yeah, it's an eagle, but it has been fed with chicken feed for too long. It has now long lost its eaglehood. It has now acquired its chicken feed." And the naturalist said, "No, once an eagle, always an eagle." And the farmer said, "Now demonstrate." The naturalist took the eagle, and as he was placing it in his palm, he urged it to fly, and it never flew, and it went back. And now the farmer told him, "I told you, it was once an eagle. It has now been fed for chicken feed for too long. It has long lost its eaglehood. It's now a chicken." And the farmer was belated. The naturalist went disappointed. But as early morning, as the sun was coming by, he came to the farmer and took the eagle and urged it to fly, and the eagle flew and never came back again. And the naturalist said, "I told you, it was an eagle. No matter how you feed it with chicken feed for too long, it will still be an eagle. That eagle is you, and that chicken feed is the failures that you are undergoing in life. No matter how many failures you will undergo, you are still an eagle, and you need to fly up the rest.
Wow, 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 wow. Awesome, awesome. Mark, most of the time, people with character, or people who understand what character is and stand for something, always face dilemmas, especially, I'll call them societal dilemmas, where there is something society has always believed that this is the answer to this question. But then with your character, you find yourself maybe, you know what, there is something I stand for as a person, and I don't want to be influenced with that. So then you find yourself in a situation where you have to make a decision. So that makes me ask you a question. How then does character influence your decision making when you are in dilemma, in situation where you have to choose between yes and no, or right and left?
That dilemma, in philosophy they call it ethical dilemma. It is a point where you're forced, you have two or more moral conflicting things that come along the way, and you do not know what to do. For instance, choosing to be loyal to a friend or facing the legal action to go to somewhere like a court. It's very important, and I'll give you a story for myself. There's one time a friend of mine worked with the insurance company, and it happened that I asked for his car to drive one time. So as I was driving, there was a point I had to take a 3D turn, of course, a 3D turn reverse. So as I was doing the reverse, what happened is I knocked the left lights broke down. So I had an option, because this friend of mine is an insurance person, and so she can say that she was the one driving, and because the car is insured, she can I will not be she can compensate it. And the other thing was for me to face and buy another light. So I remember going to his office, to her office that day. We were two of us. So when I was entering the room, of course, when you want to ask something and you've done a mistake, your face already is just seen. So as I was entering in, he asked me, I know there's a problem with the car. And I said, yeah, it was broken down. And for now, would you say you work with the insurance? You know, we can fix this thing up. It won't take even more than 10 minutes. You have deals. We can do it. I remember her telling me, I don't do such things. And that really benefited me a lot, because I had to go to my pocket, get the cost of that get the cost of that lights and replace it. And it was very costly. I remember that time being one of the times where there was economic crisis. And I think that is part of the dilemma that I faced. But as you can see, what I did was, number one, I owned my own mistakes. And I said, well, I've owned it, let me now pay for it. That is one of the things that you can do, so that you can help yourself to move from one dilemma to another. And also your guiding principles, because it helped me a lot to understand that indeed I failed, but then I have to do this and this and this, so that it can part it well.
Wow, wow, that's a good lesson. And that makes me ask you a final question for today. Can character be built, or it's something that you inherit?
Character can both be built and can be inherited. It is built through lessons, it is built through workshops, such kind of things. When members will see what I'm explaining about, they will learn about character. So it can be built, it can be taught, it can be mentored to. One of my mentors is PLO Lumumba, and I've learned a lot from him, and I ever admire his character. Many of the people
Even
like
the
that.
way you speak, of course.
That I'm not sure about. And it also can be inherited. That's true. You know, when you watch someone who mentors you very well, you can inherit that. Not to be specific DNA, but just by the fact that you're watching that guy, you admire that guy. You say you want to be like that guy. You want to be, you want to have such kind of character. So character can be built, it can be taught, and it can be inherited.
Oh,
Yeah.
I agree with you. Just like talent.
Yes.
You can have that talent,
Yeah.
and if you don't put work on it, it will fail at one point.
Yeah,
So
it
it's the
surely
same way with
fail.
character. You can inherit character. Maybe your parents had that strong character, or they even had a weak character. So it's you to put work into it. So
Yeah.
thank you very much, Mark, for coming.
I
Maybe a
appreciate.
parting shot.
What I can say is character is built, and we as members, we as human beings, of course, need to exhibit some kind of characters that are positive and we can impact to the generation yet to be born. Let us not be lied upon. Let us be honest with our character. Let us not fear failing. We need to fail so that we can grow on. And I wish you the very best as you guide your principles in terms of character.
Oh, thank you very much, Mark, for joining us today in Success Leader. I'm going to have you a couple of times, and one day I just want us to have a sit down in Success Ladder and do a whole episode just talking about philosophy. And I won't be asking you a question, actually. We'll be just having a conversation, you telling us stories. So I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Thank you very much for coming. I hope you got it. Your character is very important in your growth as a person. And what is important is what you do when people are not seeing you. Thank you for joining us in this episode. My name is Paul Bryan, and this is Success Ladder. We inspire the world.